This is Joe Basso with Music Radar, and I'm here with Victor Wooten, bass extraordinaire, 5-time Grammy winner. I don't know, is there anything I'm leaving out?
uh, it already sounds impressive enough for me, so that's good.
Fantastic. Well, before I get into some questions,
Yeah.
now you have a brand new bass. It's a Fodera, but
Yes.
I don't know the model number or much about it, so why don't you tell us?
This is like, I think Yin Yang model number 1. This is a bass that I just saw yesterday. I've been playing a Fodera bass since 1983.
Right.
But for the last maybe, I don't know, at least 10 years, I've been playing a Yin Yang bass, meaning the front looks like a Yin Yang symbol. And
Right.
it's kind of become my signature thing. People know me for it. But they're really difficult to make because the wood has to be matched. It's all pieces of wood. And
What kind of wood is it?
usually it's ebony on the top and then a type of maple.
Okay.
But it has to be laminated and put together, and it's really hard, and they only make 2 a year.
It's beautiful.
And so what this is, though, this is brand new, just announced yesterday. This is the Yin Yang Standard. So it's a different model that's easier for them to make.
Okay.
Still have the high quality, but instead of a dovetail type neck, this is a bolt-on neck, which is easier.
Right.
The top is actually painted rather than the wood matched together, and
I see, yes.
yeah, and the headstock is a little bit different. Rather than it being tilted back, it's a straighter headstock. Basically, it's a way that fans of mine, friends of mine, don't have to spend as much money to get the same instrument that I play.
What can you tell me about the pickup configuration?
Sure,
Anything different?
These are EMG pickups. No, everything is pretty much just like my bass, as much as possible. EMG pickups. It has the Mike Pope preamp in it. It's a slightly different preamp configuration that I have on my basses, but we try to get the knobs out of the way,
Right.
for the different things that I'll do with my hands. Beautiful bass, Yin Yang Standard from Fodera, just announced yesterday. So I'm going to play it all day today.
It is beautiful. Now, I want to ask you, it's been 15 years since you put out your record, A Show of Hands.
Correct.
And you are now putting out a new version of it. Now it's called A Show of Hands 15.
50, that's right.
It's remastered, but with some additional cuts.
Yeah, there'll be three new cuts on it. One of them is a live solo that
Okay.
I found from the year 2003. That was just kind of special to me, so
Okay.
I put that on there. But there's 2 other tracks, and these 2 other tracks feature my longtime good friend J.D. Blair
Right.
on drums and percussion. Because the original version has no other instruments. It's just me and my 4-string bass. So it's kind of nice. Well, the whole record will play on its own, and
Yeah.
then 3 tracks at the end. But I'm just happy, that a record like that is still around 15 years later, and bass players like it and are still learning from it. I still enjoy playing the songs, and people will be able to get it again now, 15 years later, and it'll actually sound much better.
And you're putting it out on your new label called Vix Records?
That's right. I'm going to start doing things on my own. Well, and when I say on my own, I have a
Right.
great team with me. My manager, Danette, is right here. I have a great team that's helping me, but it'll be Vix Records, VIX.
Right.
And it'll just allow me to be in total control of the music and the different things that I'm creating.
Now, I want to ask you something. You have been described as the Michael Jordan of the bass. Now, does that mean that you're going to try a baseball career as well?
It doesn't mean that to me, no.
For those of you that don't know, Michael Jordan is, of course, a basketball legend, but he briefly tried a baseball career, and he should stick to the basketball.
Well, I admire him for trying something different.
Right.
Most of us will stick to what we're good at, but a lot of people like Michael Jordan want to continue to grow.
Right.
And the way to do that is to try a bunch of different things, and when you try a bunch of different things, you're going to fail at some of them.
Yeah.
But because you tried it, that means it's a success. So in that sense, I hope I am like Michael Jordan. Here I am starting a record label in these times, so that's a risk also.
Now, you have a song, of course, Bass Tribute,
Yeah.
where you name check some of your mentors, influences, Bootsy Collins, Jaco Pastorius, Paul McCartney.
Yep.
Now, some of these people were on our Music Radar greatest bassist of the past 25 years poll, in which you placed above Paul McCartney. So I'd like to name a few bass players and get your take on them, okay?
All right.
Well, Paul McCartney.
Very lyrical, melodic bass player. very solid. But his bass lines are so musical. You know, when you listen to how they go through the chords and how the songs, and the fact that he was doing that at that time, he's a genius.
Jaco Pastorius.
A master, an innovator, and he's influenced every bass player that lived after him.
Bootsy Collins.
The funk master. You know, my big brother, just the nicest person you would ever want to meet.
He is nice. James Jamerson.
The standard for R&B bass playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then some younger guys. Flea.
Flea's a good bass player. I like Flea because when you hear him, you know it's Flea.
Right.
You know? And he's kind of created his own style. You know, he has his own sound and very theatrical, which I love. I love that kind of stuff.
And then the bass player who actually won our poll, John Mayung from Dream Theater. Are you familiar with his work?
I am familiar with John, yeah. And he's another one. He's I don't know what you call it, one of my contemporaries. It's like we've kind of come up at the same time.
Right.
And so we kind of see each other out of our side vision. In other words, I know that John didn't grow up listening to me. I didn't grow up listening to him. But now we know I'm sure we know who each other is, and we respect each other.
Yeah.
And I think I love what he's doing. I love what that whole band is doing for our music scene.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in our last couple minutes here, what I'd like to see if you could do is demonstrate for our readers a warm-up technique that you might have before you go out and perform. Now, we are sans amp,
Sure.
but hopefully we can
Sure.
show what you do here.
Well, yeah, we don't have an amp, but I'm going to give you my favorite warm-up, and
Okay.
I won't be able to do it here. But here's the thing, is that most players think about the bass in a warm-up in a way of warming up our fingers, playing scales, you know. And for me, I might warm up on some just different techniques and things, but a lot of the times I'm warming up in a way that I don't have to concentrate on, because I don't want to wear my brain out before the show. So I'm just loosely doing things like an athlete. An athlete is not focused and you know, he's just kind of warming up. His mind is somewhere else thinking about the task at hand. But really, I want to say this. My main warm-up is warming up my whole body.
How so?
Meaning I'd be up exercising.
Oh.
Right? Because I don't play with just my hands. You know? It's like if a speaker is going to go say a speech, he's not backstage warming up his lips. Right? He's getting his mind together. What am I going to say? He might even be stretching out his arms, even though his arms, you know, don't seem like they have anything to do with the words.
Right, right.
But for me, if my whole body is warm and my mind is in a good place, I'm going to have a good show. Right? So like an athlete, like it's a little chilly in here, I'd probably have my jacket on doing push-ups, doing jumping jacks, twisting and things like that. Once I can get my whole body feeling good and my mind feeling good, my fingers are going to respond to anything I want them to do. So I recommend people to warm up their whole body and realize that we do play with our whole bodies as well, and maybe even just as important or more important, get your mind together as if you're about to go out and talk. What is it you want to say? Why are you here? What do you want to offer your audience? You just want to play your licks, or do you want them to walk away better because they came to see you play?
Very cool.
You know, so get your head together and warm up your whole body. That's what I would say.
Okay. Well, again, this is your brand new Fodera Yin Yang bass?
Yin Yang Standard,
Yin Yang Standard. It's a beautiful looking bass.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
This is Joe Basso with Music Radar, and I've been here with the great Victor Wooten. Victor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Have a great rest of the
Peace to
show.
all of you.